Hello friends, welcome to a new video. I know that I haven't made any in a while, but I just thought that this would be really fun. I recently got back into bullet journaling, and I just thought that I could share this with you guys. And so here we go. This is my March plan with me, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so I'm just going to go straight in with some kind of elegant calligraphy here with my black Crayola Super Tips. And then also I chose to do an ocean theme for this month, and so I'm going to be drawing in some waves here. I'm drawing a bunch of individual waves, and then I'm going to fill them in with little lines in order to make them just a little bit more interesting. And so I'm kind of just surrounding this March title without making the waves come from every direction, and so they're still sort of coming from the bottom, but also centering March at the same time. Now I'm filling in with these lines in order to just give them a little bit more interest and some texture. So now I'm going in with this quote on the left page, and it says, "You can never cross the ocean if you don't have the courage to lose sight of the shore." And I thought that was really fitting for this month, since I am doing an ocean theme, because this quote obviously is about oceans and crossing the shores, and it's very inspirational. I actually have this quote on the front of one of my old bullet journals, and so I really like it. I was playing around with some different fonts and different things that I could do because I don't write quote pages a lot, and I think that this one came out pretty good. There's some lowercase, just regular print font with some little like serifs, I guess, and then some capital letters, and then some calligraphy again with my Crayola Super Tips because I don't have real calligraphy tools. So now I'm just erasing the pencil lines behind that. Yeah, and then I'm going to go in with some downstrokes on this one line that says "to lose sight," just to make it look a little bit more like calligraphy rather than just the flat monoline cursive. And so now I'm going to grab my watercolors, and I'm going to paint this banner blue, and then I'm also going to go in with these watercolors to paint the waves on the cover page. When I painted this banner, I actually ended up, it kind of made the black ink fade and like fall back because the watercolor was on top of it. So after it dried, I went back in with my fine liner and just went over it again to make the black really stand out and pop. There were lots of little eraser bits. So now I'm painting in these waves, and I'm doing a bunch of different shades of blue, and so for the darker blue, I use, in order to get the different shades while still using the same, blue color, I just use either more water to make the shade lighter, or use a lot less water to make the shade darker. And I also ended up going in with some the other blue that's down in the bottom, you can see it, and I also mixed a little bit of the purple with the dark blue in order to give a purplish blue, but my video stopped recording, or my camera stopped recording, and so I didn't get all of the video from that. And I also left some of the little sections white just to give it some more highlights and make it not such a solid, just blue everything, in order to break some of that up and make it a little bit more visually appealing. I ended up liking how this turned out a lot, and honestly I could have just stopped here because this looks super cool, but I kept going, but the video cut off. So now I am doing my monthly layout, and I wanted to try something new, but first I go in with this same March kind of cursive that I did on the cover page, except this time it's just with a regular fine liner versus a super tip, I guess, versus a calligraphy look. But for the month, I'm just going in with these horizontal lines, and I don't end up putting any vertical lines because I'd seen this somewhere and I thought it was interesting. And so this month I'm trying out a bunch of new stuff, and I figured why not try out a whole new monthly layout, because I'd been doing the same thing and it was kind of getting boring. So I tried this instead, and I really like the way that it looked, so hopefully it'll be functional, because I'm just afraid that the boxes will kind of seep together, but we will see how it goes. So now I'm going in with the days of the week, just regular cursive, and then I'm going to fill in the numbers on the left-hand corner. And I try to keep the numbers in the same like vertical line so that it creates the box shape without actually having the vertical lines there. And I think it worked out pretty well, because you can really see how they would be boxes. And then I also fill in some waves down here at the bottom to incorporate the ocean theme, and also just to break up some of that blank space. And I really like the way that these looked. And then I also went in with watercolor on these, but once again my camera stopped recording, so I didn't get to capture that on video. And now I'm going in with some trackers, and in order to do the titles, I'm doing this just like watercolor kind of backwash, I guess you would say. And then I'm going to go in with just a black fine liner on top of that with some just normal cursive. And so this is my habit trackers, my mood tracker, and my goals. And so yeah, I ended up just doing this tiny little section at the bottom for the goals, and I didn't end up liking that, so next month I'll know to do a full page. And for my habit trackers, I did these little boxes that represent the month of March, and except I didn't fill in the numbers for each of the days because I did not want to write a million tiny little numbers. So we'll see how this goes. I've never tried doing it like this before, but I think it should be easy enough to keep track with. I've also never really done a mood tracker before, and so I'm excited for this one. I drew out this kind of wave scene, and they're like the waves on the cover page with the lines going through them, and so for each section it's going to represent a day of the month, and for whatever mood I'm feeling on that day, I'll color in the section accordingly. So a really dark blue would represent a bad mood, so like angry or sad, and then a really light blue would represent a happier mood. So I'm kind of excited for this. I think it'll look really cool if I actually fill in all the days, but we'll see, because I've never done a mood tracker before. I don't know if I'll actually keep up with it. My camera again was being weird. And so now this is going to be my expense tracker and another quote page. I like to have this expense tracker because it just keeps me accountable for what I'm spending my money on and how much of my money is going to what, and also just like how much money I am spending each month. And also I was struggling to get a straight line for this, you guys. So it ended up looking like it was watercolored too because it's so uneven. But yeah, for my expense tracker, I keep this the same every month. So I just have this little section on the left for the date, and then in the middle is a description, and then on the right is the amount and whether it was added or subtracted. One column is for added and one is for subtracted. And then at the bottom I have a little total box in order to see just how much money throughout the whole month that I brought in versus how much I spent. And then on the left, like I said, I'm going in with another quote, but this one is actually a Bible verse. It's Psalm 89 verse 9, and it says, "You rule the raging sea, when its waves surge, you still them." And I really like this verse. I think it's really cool to just remember that the God of the universe, he can calm the sea, but he also cares for you, and he knows you by name. And it was just really beautiful. Also, once again, it goes with the ocean theme, and I love having my quotes match my theme. And so, I learned my lesson from last time. I went in with the watercolor on the banner first, and then I'm going to go in with the fine liner on top of that instead of the other way around. And then I'm also going in with some more calligraphy with my Crayola marker, and then, some regular print, and yeah. So I really like the way that this one came out as well. Right now I'm just touching up some of the letters, make the lines a little bit smoother. I also like this verse because it's just such a reminder that, you know, when the sea of our life is raging and there's such a storm, God will still that as long as you just let him. And so really it's such a beautiful reminder of God's power and his love for us. And so I really like it and having it here. I'm also just erasing some of these pencil lines now. And then I'm gonna go in to my next page is, lots of eraser bits. Yeah, so my next page is going to be a meal tracker, which I'm trying to eat healthier, so I hope that this will help keep me accountable, kind of like my expense tracker. Once again, I'm going in with the same just blue watercolor wash on top for the background of the title, and then for this whole thing I'm going to do 4 sections, or I guess 5. This little tiny one is for the day of the month, and then the next one is for breakfast, and then lunch, and then dinner. And then on the right, this column is actually 8 dots wide, and it's for my water intake for the day. So for every cup of water I drink, I'll fill in one of the little squares. So yeah, this is my month. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, be sure to tune in next time, and I'll see you guys later.